So guys, this whole entire season, there has been a major focus around the overload of scoring and crazy individual performances, and last night was no different, with Damian Lillard scoring 71 points in only 39 minutes in a win over the Houston Rockets. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down Dame's crazy performance that everyone is talking about, and also taking a deep dive into what's next for the Portland Trail Blazers this season. So starting off with the game, this was one of the most efficient high-scoring performances of all time, and once again, we saw Dame prove to the world why he is the second best shooter in NBA history. Most of us have always known that Dame is that guy, but he always falls under the radar due to the lack of team success, and I think last night, Dame sent a message to the Portland Trail Blazers because as loyal as he is, the Blazers need to do something to help him out because every time there's a big star on the move, the Blazers always miss out on the sweepstakes. Even with that being said though, the Blazers are still in a position to make the playoffs and even make a run, but it's 100% going to depend on everyone being healthy, and over the last few years, they've struggled with lots and lots of injuries, and this year has been no different. The Blazers actually started out this season with a very decent record, and it was looking like they were going to be a playoff lock. They were just playing that well, so we all know that they're capable of doing big things, but again, it's just all going to depend on health and everything coming together at the right time. Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, and Jusuf Nurkic is not a bad big three to have at all, and they're so young that the future is bright. But the problem is, the Blazers front office always fails to put experienced role players around the stars, and in this league, you have to have depth to win, especially nowadays. The problem I've always had with this Trailblazers team is that the management never sets a direction, and over the last few years, they've been one of those on-the-bubble teams that aren't good enough to win a championship and not bad enough to get a super high draft pick. It really is a pretty horrible spot to be in. I think at this point, we're rarely ever going to see middle-of-the-pack teams again by the All-Star break anymore, because everyone will be traded away to contenders for draft picks. But anyways, that's really all I wanted to say on that. I just think the Blazers need to eventually pick a direction, or else Dame is going to be stuck in the play-in tournament the rest of his career until he retires, and nobody wants to see that. Now moving on to breaking down Dame's crazy 71-point performance, I definitely want to talk all about the stats, but I also want to talk about some things I noticed while watching the film, because there was a few things that really caught my eye, and if the Blazers can continue to do them, I don't know how anyone is going to be able to beat them when completely healthy. But yeah, in the game, Dame of course scored 71 points, but man, he got going early and nobody could stop him. I think this performance may have been more impressive than the Mitchell one because he did it in less time. But at the same time, Mitchell got his 71 in comeback fashion, so it really is just up for you to judge. Anyways, Lillard had 71, 6 and 6 on 22 of 38 shooting, and he knocked down 13 trays and didn't miss a single free throw the whole entire night. Lillard scored about 55% of the Blazers' points, and the funny thing is, I heard before the game so many things went wrong. He was late and couldn't do some of his normal routine, and he also lost his 3-point contest trophy that he was supposed to bring and show off, and his mom had to find it. So maybe this performance was just out of frustration, but who knows. There was a lot of things I saw from this game that truly were unguardable. I know on an average night, Dame isn't going to shoot 13 of 22 from behind the arc, but his teammates were really getting him open with their screens consistently, and the thing that makes a Damian Lillard pick and roll or pick and pop so unstoppable is how deep out they do it. As you can see here, there was already a screen set for Dame to come around 5 feet from behind the arc. That is just nuts, but Dame has that type of range, and them and the Warriors are really the only two teams in the league that can do things like this. And with how deep out the screeners are, they have tons of room to cut off the screen, and really the whole offense is just super open. And it's especially really hard to stop when Anthony Simons is on the floor with Dame. Anyways, moving on, here you can see Dame has already driven past the 3-point line and is dishing the ball out to an open teammate in the corner. This may just seem like a normal everyday play, but let me tell you, this is not normal. This play wasn't even in transition. Dame just draws so much attention that by the time he was even in scoring position, he already was getting doubled, and the whole floor had their eyes on him, which led to an easy pass and an easy 3. And again, when Simons is on the floor with Dame, there's really nothing you can do because you can't double either one, and we saw the success they had early on in the season together. But like I was saying way earlier, the main problem for Lillard is that he has no experience on the bench, and guys aren't knocking down shots consistently around him. But yeah, I mean, just even look at this picture right here. It's the same concept as I just showed with the super high screen, but literally all 5 defenders were looking right at him and 2 players were ready to double. Dame ended up hitting a 3 on this possession, but there was unlimited options for him to choose because there was 2 players wide open on the other side of the court if he drove in and dished it out. So basically, all I'm trying to say is Damian Lillard is unreal, and because of his play, there is an unlimited range of options for the Blazers to choose from on the offensive end. But as I've been saying, it's all just going to come down to if the front office actually wants to eventually go all in and surround decent players around him that can stay healthy. I think almost the whole basketball world wants to see Dame get a ring, but in this current situation, I don't think it's going to happen. So unless they fix things soon, I think he should request a trade out. But we all know he's never going to do that because he's already extended and is literally the most loyal player of this generation. But anyways, I can talk about the hypotheticals all day long, but really all that matters is that right now the Blazers are 29-31, currently sitting right on the border of the play-in tournament, and if Nurkic and Simons can come back healthy to finish out the season, I really do think they can get to that 8 play-in seed, especially with the news that LeBron James may be out a while for the Lakers. And speaking of Jusuf Nurkic, I really haven't talked about him much in this video, but he is also super underrated and nobody really talks about him on the national stage. Nurkic is currently averaging 14-9 with 3 assists per game, and he has really stepped up his 3-point shooting. He doesn't take a lot of volume, but he's almost shooting 40%, which has really helped this Blazers team with spacing. It really is becoming the era of the 3-point ball now, because guys who used to not even attempt many threes are now almost shooting 40%. Man, it's just crazy. It'll be super interesting to see how things play out for the Blazers the rest of the way, but even if things don't work out, it was still super cool to witness history because 71 points is no small feat, especially to do it in a win with super good efficiency. I know, it's been super frustrating if you're a Blazers fan with how this team is always right in the middle of the pack, but one thing I can say is that they have the talent to make a run, but they just don't have the depth. So they are just a few small changes away from becoming serious contenders, and if they can actually for once beat the odds and stay healthy for a full season, they will be in pretty good shape. Let me know in the comments below what you've thought about the Blazers so far this season, and especially what you thought about Dame Dolla's 71-point night, because it was just incredible to watch. And even with the amount of scoring we're seeing consistently on a nightly basis in today's NBA, performances to that magnitude you will only see from a few players in the league. That's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment below what you would like to see next. I'm going to be pumping out so much content for you guys as the season starts to wrap up, but until next time, I'll see you all later.